Platform Brewing Company out of Cleveland, Ohio. Holiday Donut Cookie is a holiday ale brewed with natural flavors. Cookie, spice, donut. Adjuncts are snickerdoodle, vanilla, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, milk sugar. 7% alcohol. Let's give it a shot. If you know me, you know I like my bakery style goody pies, cookies, toffee, chocolates, any of those in my beers. Not a big fruit beer guy, but when you give me any of those other bakery items or dessert items, I'm all in. This one had me just bug-eyed. I was incredibly excited to see and taste this beer when I got it and I picked it off the shelf. Got it home, opened it up. It does smell sweet, but I think there's just a lot going on in this beer. Is it sweet? Yes. Is it kind of sugary? Yes. It's almost like one of those junk cookies that you make around the holidays. You just take all the scraps that are left over and you just kind of throw it into a cookie. And that's what it is. It almost kind of feels grainy, like there's extra sugar that doesn't need to be in there. And you're kind of crunching down on like an overly sugared sugar cookie mess, something along those lines. As the can says, it's cookie, spice, donut. I'm not getting much cookie. I'm not getting much donut. You do get some spice and you get some sugar. If anything, I would say this reminds me of if you ever had buttered toast when you were a kid and just sprinkled sugar and cinnamon on it. That's kind of what this reminds me of, but on like a really thin slice of bread. I'm not getting much bread from this beer. If you had that little bit of butter and just a lot of, well, sugar and cinnamon on some white bread, toasted. I loved it when I was a kid. That's kind of what this reminds me of. Do I like this beer? It's a reach for me to say I like it. It's very sweet. It's very all over the place in your mouth. It's light, but the 7% alcohol, that's a little high. And it's just really an acquired kind of taste that you're going to need from this. It's sweet upon sweet, and again, it's all over the place. All those adjuncts I described on the can, it's kind of hard to really figure out what exactly you're tasting and if it even tastes good. It's just a lot of sweet, a lot of sweet, and a lot of sweet. It's a slightly amber color, but it feels watery. It feels kind of light, and I think Platform is that's kind of what they do. It feels lighter. It feels like a lighter beer. It's almost watery, but the sugar and the sweetness, and again, it's not really a donut, and it's not really a cookie, and it's not really snickerdoodle. But you're just kind of trying to figure it out in your head. But along those lines, you're trying to taste the ale, and it's kind of lackluster, if I can put it that way. 7% alcohol, you're going to get your bang for your buck out of this beer with your alcohol content, but it comes at the cost of how much sweetness can you tackle, can you handle? And it might sound like I'm really bad-mouthing this. The sweetness, it's not overly like, okay, this is drying out my mouth, I'm going to have sticky lips after this. No, it's just really just a lot of sweet flavor. And again, it doesn't really fall into one category of, well, I can see this being like this, or I can see this being like this, or it's just kind of all over the place. Like I said, it's kind of like a junk cookie that all the scraps get thrown into one mixer and you bake it, and whatever's left comes out. And if you eat it, you eat it. If you don't, you don't. Give it to the dog, or don't give it to the dog. My drinkability on this, I could probably limit this to 2 or 3. The sweet flavor, the whatever the sweetener is that they're using for this, whatever flavor concoction that they came up with, it's just kind of all over the place. And I'm not exactly sure where, and it's confusing enough that it becomes annoying, and I'd probably get annoyed with it pretty quick. I see something like this, kind of like it says, it's probably like a holiday beer. Sometime around the holidays, this might fit in while you're eating cookies, maybe drink, I don't know, maybe that'd be too much sugar. But somewhere along those lines, it kind of makes sense. On a scale of 1 to 10, though, I'll give it a 6. It's different. I like Platform Brewing Company. I've had some of their beers in the past, and they are out there, and they do some different things that I really commend, and I appreciate them doing. I feel as excited as I was about this, I might have done it to myself by letting my expectations get this high, but I can still appreciate what they tried to do here. I think that they just did a little too much. If they would have dialed it back a little bit, maybe more made their flavor distinctive and really tried to specify what they were going after, I think it would have been good. But I think they just did a little too much, and that's where it kind of lost me. But I do like Platform Brewing Company. I'm looking forward to the next beer that I get from them. Next time I see one on the shelf, next one that looks appealing to me, I'm going to try it. And if this sounded good to you, if it sounded intriguing in the least bit, absolutely go out and try it. So again, that's Platform Brewing Company out of Cleveland, Ohio. Holiday Donut Cookie, 7% alcohol.